Welcome for our social studies lesson today, whereby we are going to look at a calculation of time. But before I just do that, I feel that it's important to remind ourselves of what we are supposed to do in order to assist in curbing the spread of this dangerous disease that is coronavirus. That kindly remain at home, but if you are forced by circumstances to leave your home, then always put on your mask. Avoid also shaking people's hands, maintain social distance. If you feel like coughing or sneezing, please use your toilet paper and dispose it immediately to the rightful place. If you don't have a toilet paper, then always fold your arm like that. You can cough or sneeze there. Something else is that continue washing your hands regularly with soap and water. If you have the sanitizers, the better. Above all, let us continue praying, because I believe that through prayers, God is going to see us through this. Having said that, now allow me to talk about calculation of time. This is a very important subtopic in social studies. Now, there are some few things, some few rules I would like you to put into consideration in order to successfully calculate time in social studies. That rule number one is that when given two places found on different longitudes, you add to get the differences. For example, if you have been given a question showing east and west, or east and west, you realize that east and west are found on, these are two different longitudes. The first longitude is on the east, and another one is to the west. So supposing you are given a question that has two places indicating two different longitudes, that is east and west, or even vice versa, west and east, you add to get the difference. And I've given example east and west. For example, you are given that town X is 60 degrees east, while town Y is 30 degrees east. You realize that these two towns are found on different longitudes. This is east and west. So what we are going to do, you add to get the difference, because they are found on different longitudes. This is 60 plus 30, you get 90 degrees. But supposing you are given two places found on the same longitude, like for example, you have been given east and east, you have been given east and on the same, found on the same longitude and west, like that. This is west, and this is, you have been given west again. So if you are given two places found on the same longitudes, that is east and east, or like in our example here, west and west, you minus to get the difference. Like for example, town X is 60 degrees west, and town Y is 30 degrees west. So these two towns are found on the same longitude, that is west and west. Supposing it was also east and east, we could have just minused. So that is 60 minus 30, you get 30. So rule number 4, you must know that the earth takes 4 minutes to rotate from one longitude to the other. Remember, we calculate time using longitudes. So when you look at the longitudes, you realize that from one longitude to another, the earth takes 4 minutes, 4 minutes, 4 minutes, 4 minutes, 4 minutes, 4 minutes from one longitude to another. And if you want to prove this, you can make a very simple calculation. That you see, the earth has a total of 360 longitudes. If you multiply 360 by 4, you realize that, and you divide by 60, you will get 24 hours. 24 hours, that is a full day. And that's why we say a full rotation takes 24 hours, that is equivalent to one full day. So, my dear pupils, understand that the earth takes 4 minutes to rotate from one longitude to another. So this is the same as saying 1 degree of longitude, because each longitude is marked 1 degree, is equivalent to 4 minutes. It is equivalent to 4 minutes. So my dear pupils, rule number 4 is that when you're asked to give time towards the east, you add. Why? Because time on the east is always ahead. Time towards the east is always ahead. But if you are asked to give time towards the west, you minus, because as you go towards the west, time is always behind. And if you want to get it even in a very more easier way, then you draw your number line like that. Your number line like that. Then in the middle, you make a longer line like that. So this is 0. This is the Greenwich meridian, which is marked as 0 degrees. So under the Greenwich meridian, which is also known as prime meridian, it is the one that differentiates longitudes towards the eastern longitudes and western longitudes. Now, if you are asked to give time going this side towards the east, you are going to do what? To add, because the more you go to the east, the more time goes ahead. Time is ahead as you go towards the east. But if you are asked to give time towards the west, going to the west, you will have to minus, because as you go towards the west, time is always behind. Time is always behind as you go towards the west. But as you go towards the east, time is ahead. And that's why when you go towards the east, if you are asked to give time towards the east, you are going to add. But if you are asked to give time towards the west, you are going to minus, because time to the west is always behind. Now, with these 4 rules, we are now good to go about calculation of time. Now, we have an example of a question here. The question is reading, if time in Monrovia 15 degrees west is 11 a.m., what will be time in Kigali 30 degrees east? Now, we go to rule number 1, whereby we say that when you are given 2 places found on different longitudes, you add. So this is west and this is east. So we are going to add following rule number 1. So we are going to say 15 plus 30. This is 5. This is 4. So these are degrees. These are longitudes, and longitudes are written in degrees. Now we have not gotten time. We are interested in getting time at Kigali. So we are going to convert these longitudes into time. So remember, we have said that the Earth takes 4 minutes to rotate from one longitude to the other. That is to say, 1 degree of longitude is equivalent to 4 minutes. What about 45 degrees? So we are going to cross multiply. We are going to say 45 times 4. Remember, this 4, we got this 4, we are getting this 4 because 1 degree of longitude is equivalent to 4 minutes, because the Earth takes 4 minutes to rotate from one longitude to another. So when you multiply, this is 20, this is 16, 18. So that is 180. 180, these are minutes. But we are not interested with the minutes. What we are interested in is hours, time in hours. So we are going to convert 180 minutes into hours by dividing by 60. So 0 goes with the 0, this is goes 1. Here 6 goes there 3 times. 3 times. So those 3 times, those are 3 hours. Those are 3 hours. 3 hours. Then after getting our 3 hours there, we are going now to draw the the number line. Remember, my dear pupils, always draw your number line. Always draw your number line. It will guide you better. It will guide you better. So this one, we put a longer line there. This is our Greenwich meridian, which is marked 0 degrees. This side is east. This side is west. So the longitudes we have been given 15 and 30. So we are going to make 40 and 40 so that at least 30 can fall in between there. So we are going to say 10, 20, 30, 40. Here also 10, 20, 30, and 40. Now our question, we go back to our question. If time in Monrovia is 15 degrees west is 11 a.m. So 15 degrees is somewhere here because Monrovia on the west. So it is around here. They are telling us there it is 11 a.m. What about Kigali, which is 30 degrees east? 30 degrees east. So we are being asked here, there. So are you seeing we are going towards there? We are going towards the east. So what are we going to do? We are going to add, because we said if you are asked to give time towards the east, you add. So what are we going to add? We are going to take our time given there, 11 a.m. Plus 3 hours, that we got. So this one becomes 0, this one 0. 3 plus 1 becomes 4. This is 14. When you get 14, don't panic. This one is in a 24-hour clock system. So we simply convert it into 12-hour clock system by minusing. We minus 12. We minus 12. So it will be 0, 0. 4 minus 2. That is 2, 1 minus 1, that is 0, you neglect it. So it become 2, and because we were at AM, 11 AM, we have added 3 hours, so it has gone past noon. So this one, it will be 2 p.m. And this is the answer. Now let us look at example 2. The time at Catoloni 35 degrees east is 10:30 a.m. What time will it be at Ngorika 15 degrees east? Now we go back to our first rule that when you are to the second rule, I mean when you are given two places found on different longitudes, that is on the same longitude, I mean. When given two places found on the same longitude, that is east and east. Or maybe if it could be west and west, what do? We minus to get the difference. So in this question, the question that we have been given a place that is found on 35 degrees east and east, 15 degrees east. So these are on the same longitude. So what are we going to do? We are going to minus. We take the largest one, we minus the small one from the larger from a larger number. So we say 35 minus 15. This one will be 5 minus 5, that is 0. 3 minus 1, that is 2. Then we get, this is 20 degrees. Remember, we have said that longitudes are recorded in degrees. Therefore, we convert these degrees into time by multiplying it by 4. Because we said 1 degree of longitude is equivalent to 4 minutes. What about 20 degrees? What about 20 degrees? So we are going to cross multiply. We are going to say 20 times 4. This one is 0. This one is 8. So these are 80 minutes. Are we interested in minutes? No, we are interested in hours. So how are we going to convert these minutes into hours? We are going to divide by 60. And where have we gotten this 60? You know, 60 minutes is equivalent to 1 hour. So when we divide, it will be, this one is 1, this. The highest longitudes that we have been given to our question is 35 degrees. Because 35 and 15, 35 is higher. So we are going again to make 40 and this side 40 so that that 5 can fall in between there. So we say 10, 20, 30, 40. This one is also 10, 20, 30, and this one is 40. Now we go back to our question. The time at Katoloni, 35 degrees east is 10:30. So 35 degrees east is somewhere here. And we are told that the time here is 10:30 a.m. What about time at Ngorika? 15 degrees east. 15 is somewhere here. 15 is somewhere here. What about here? So you see, we are going towards the west. We are coming from this side, going this side. And I told you, as you move towards the west, you minus, you subtract, because time towards the west is always behind. So we are going to minus 1 hour 20 minutes from the time that we have been given there. We were given 10:30 a.m. So we are going to minus this 1 hour 20 minutes from the time we have been given there. So that is 1 hour 20 minutes. So it will be 0, this is 1, this is 9. And it was a.m. and still we have minused 1 hour 20 minutes. So this one remains a.m. It will be 9, 10 a.m. And that is how you are supposed to calculate time. My dear pupils, I would like to advise that you can replay this video as many times as you can, go through the rules that we have just discussed in order to get what you are supposed to follow in order to calculate time in social studies. I want to wish you well, continue working harder and going through this. And you cannot miss a question, of course, in KCPE on calculation of time. Before we end our lesson, I would like to leave with you one question on calculation of time. And the question goes this way. That if time in Accra 0 degrees is 10:30 a.m. If time in Accra 0 degrees is 10:30 a.m. What will be time in Bagoland, which is 90 degrees west? Otherwise, I want to wish you well. Goodbye.